Hi everyone, it's me, Lisa from Elements Fitness and Wellness Center, where I'm a physical therapist, Pilates instructor, and gyrotonic instructor. I'm here today to talk to you about osteoporosis nutrition. When it comes to osteoporosis nutrition, there's 5 major guidelines. The first one is to get plenty of fruits, veggies, and whole grains. Number 2, choose healthy sources of proteins and fats. Number 3, of course, get plenty of calcium. Number 4 is to limit sugar, salt, and phosphate additives. And number 5, avoid caffeine and alcohol consumption. Now, these look a lot like the healthy guidelines for just any person, but let's look into why, for someone with osteoporosis, it's especially important. When we talk about fruits, veggies, and whole grains, for vegetables, we want 4+ servings a day, fruits around 3 servings, and we want to get them from a variety of sources. Where we get into a little bit of difficulty with vegetables is when it comes to oxalates. With oxalates, it helps the plants fight off predators, and we actually produce oxalates in our liver as well. But if we have too much of them, it's difficult to absorb calcium. So foods such as spinach, kale, rhubarb, beet greens, dark chocolate, nuts, sweet potatoes, and summer squash, those would be foods that we want to avoid having our bulk sources of calcium at the same time. Another compound that can interfere with calcium consumption are phytates. So these occur most often in stuff like beans, wheat bran. So for example, if you're having your bowl of 100% wheat bran cereal and your milk, thinking that you're starting to get ahead on your calcium consumption for the day, they kind of cancel each other out. So you're better off having your brans and your calcium at a different time of day. Phytates in beans can be dramatically reduced by soaking the beans. So if we have like a 4-to-1 ratio of water to bean, and you soak them anywhere from 10 to 24 hours, depending on the type of bean, and of course, always cook them according to the recipe, then we can cut down the amount of phytates. In terms of fat and protein consumption, be a fat and protein pro. We're looking for healthy sources of fat and protein. You want to make it about 25 to 30% of your calorie consumption. So around 5 ounces a serving for women, 5.5 ounces a serving for men. It's possible to go overboard with protein consumption, and that higher amount of protein consumption can be detrimental to maintaining and building your bone. And of course, we talked about keeping up the calcium. For women, we're looking for 1,000 to 1,200 milligrams of calcium per day. And we're ideally getting these from foods. However, that's not always possible. So if you're having your supplements, make sure that it doesn't exceed 500 milligrams because our bodies can't actually absorb more than 500 milligrams at a time. When it comes to nutrients and bone health, calcium is the major mineral found in bone. Vitamin D is essential to help absorb that calcium from food and supplements. If you have an adequate amount of potassium, that helps prevent the amount of calcium loss in urine. Vitamin K is helpful in bone formation, while vitamin C is essential not only for collagen synthesis, but also an inadequate amount is associated with low bone density. So we want to make sure to get enough vitamin C too. Vitamin A helps with bone remodeling, and magnesium, a higher intake of magnesium is associated with higher bone density. With phosphorus, we need balance. Too much phosphorus and too little calcium can result in bone loss. And sodium is another one. Sodium causes loss of calcium in urine. So that brings us to guideline 4. Not only do we want to limit the sodium, but also we want to limit the sugar and the phosphate additives. So again, too much phosphorus or phosphate additives in processed foods can interfere with calcium absorption in the small intestine. Salt increases calcium loss in urine, and sugar, well, sugar is a lot of calories for a little nutrition. Well, we definitely have a place for our desserts. We want to make sure that the bulk of our calories are coming from more nutritious food to optimize our bone health. And number 5, go easy on the caffeine. We want to limit alcohol and caffeine consumption. Alcohol limits calcium absorption, and caffeine increases the amount of calcium excreted in the urine. So again, those two are definitely working against you. All right, so again, our 5 guidelines were eat more vegetables, fruits, and whole grains, choose healthy sources of proteins and fats, get plenty of calcium, limit sugar, salt, and phosphate additives, and limit alcohol and caffeine consumption. All right, everyone, thanks so much for joining me. I hope you found this interesting and informative, and we have plenty of osteoporosis support groups throughout the year and plenty of our group classes that you can stop in whether you have osteoporosis or not. I hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.